Okay, sunshine, fresh air. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling the urge to get out and explore.
That's the spirit. And what better way to embrace the outdoors than with a deep dive into a truly fascinating trail?
And today's destination? Well, we're heading to Germany, to a place called Herdorf, to explore the Bollnbach-Stahlert Trail.
It's a hiker's dream, really. Beautiful scenery, a fascinating history, and you get a glimpse into Germany's rich mining past along the way.
I've always been intrigued by those old mining regions. Something about those landscapes, shaped by industry just feels different.
Absolutely. And in Herdorf, that history is woven into the very fabric of the town. The hills are riddled with tunnels, remnants of centuries of iron ore extraction.
Wow, so we're talking serious mining operations here.
Oh, yeah. And the Bollnbach-Stahlert Trail takes you right through the heart of it. You get to see the remnants of Bollnbach and Stahlert, two of the biggest mines in the region.
I've heard those names before. Bollnbach especially.
Imagine starting like right in the heart of Herdorf at the Zwischenplatz Bollnbach, which is a square that gets its name from the mine itself.
Oh, that's cool. So we're starting right in the town center. History right there on your doorstep.
Yeah, pretty much. And as you walk, you'll start noticing all these traces of the past everywhere. Like, for example, just a short distance from that square, tucked away in the basement of the Knapschafthaus, you can actually find the entrance to the Tieferstollen, which is the deep tunnel of the Bollnbach mine. The Knapschafthaus itself is a building that's closely tied to the history of the miners' welfare, so it's pretty fitting.
Wow. So you can actually get a glimpse into the mine itself. What would a miner back then have experienced like going into that tunnel?
Well, I imagine it would be pretty dark and damp. You'd probably hear dripping water echoing all around. And of course, there's this constant sense of danger that comes with working underground. It's a stark contrast to the nice sunny walk you'd be taking above ground.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate the conditions they faced.
Okay.
So we've seen the town square. We've had a peek into the mine itself. Where does the trail lead us next?
Okay, so picture this. You're walking along and you come to this sports field called the Glückauf-Kampfbahn. Seems like a normal place for a game of football, right? But here's the thing. This field is actually built on the ground that was once part of a massive ore processing area for the Bollnbach mine.
No way. A football pitch on top of a former mine. That's incredible. I mean, there's like other parts of the mine hidden under everyday life in Herdorf?
Yeah, it's kind of a cool reminder that the past is always there, sometimes in unexpected ways. And there's another interesting connection with this sports field. It was built in the 1950s and was actually sponsored by the Friedrichshain Iron Works. That's the same ironworks that produced all that slag we were talking about earlier.
Wow, that's amazing. The ironworks, the slag heap, the sports field, it's all starting to connect. What else would we see on this walk?
Well, a little further along the trail, you really can't miss the machine house of the Bollnbach mine. It's this big, imposing red brick building, which used to be the engine house, and it housed the winding tower that brought miners and materials up from the depths.
I can just picture this huge structure towering over everything else. Was this where all the action was?
Absolutely. You would have had miners coming and going, the roar of the steam engine, the clang of the metal. It was really the heart of the whole operation.
You mentioned miners and materials going up and down.
Yeah.
Did the mine rely entirely on that winding tower? Or were there other ways to move things around?
That's a good question. Remember, these mines were super productive, so they needed a good way to get all that ore out to the rest of the world. And for that, they had the Bollnbachsbahn, which was a special railway line built to connect the mine to the main railway network.
So they had their own railway. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about efficiency. Did this train transport anything else besides ore?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It wasn't just about getting the ore out. You got to think about all the supplies and equipment needed to run a mine that size. You know, timber for supports tools, even food for the workers. It was a whole logistical operation, and the Bollnbachsbahn kept everything running smoothly.
It's really incredible how they built this whole infrastructure around this mining operation. As we keep going on this hike, are there any other reminders of that kind of scale and ingenuity?
Oh, yeah, pretty much every step of the way. Remember those pinging and stolen we talked about earlier? You'll see evidence of those all over the place. And then there's the Stahlert mine, which runs almost parallel to the Bollnbach. It might have been a bit smaller, but it was still a big part of Herdorf's mining history.
Right, the Stahlert mine. Was it pretty similar in terms of technology and impact?
In a lot of ways, yeah. Both mines had to deal with the challenge of water. You know, to dig deeper, they needed to keep those tunnels dry. That's where the Wasserkünste come in.
Wasserkünste. Now, I remember you said those were like water wheels that they use for drainage. How do they actually use water to remove water? It seems kind of counterintuitive.
I know, right? But they were really smart about it. These Wasserkünste were designed to harness the power of flowing water to operate pumps, and those pumps would draw water out of the mine shafts. It was a pretty brilliant solution for the time.
So they were using nature to fight nature. It's amazing how resourceful they had to be.
Absolutely. And their ingenuity wasn't just limited to engineering. You see, mining was more than just a job. It was a way of life. And it created this really strong sense of community. For instance, there's the Bollnbacher Musikverein, which is a local music club, and it's thought to have its roots in the vibrant social life that sprung up around the mines.
Wow. So even music found its way into this world of iron and rock. I love how these mines influence so much more than just the landscape itself.
And as you continue along the Bollnbach-Stahlert trail, you get to explore even more of that history. You pass by remnants of the Felsenstein Tunnel and the Christine Mine.
So we're really getting a sense of the scale of these operations. It's not just one mine, it's a whole network of tunnels and shafts.
Absolutely. And the trail even takes you on a bit of an uphill climb. It's about 350 meters of elevation gain, but the view from the top is worth it.
And what's waiting for us at the top?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. You reach the Sandhalde, which is basically a massive man-made mountain made entirely of slag.
Slag, as in the byproduct of iron production.
The very same. Now, you might think a mountain of slag sounds pretty boring, but it's actually a fascinating place.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How did they even manage to create a mountain out of slag?
Well, back in the late 1800s, an engineer at Friedrichshadt, the local ironworks, came up with an ingenious solution. Instead of letting the molten slag solidify into these huge chunks, they developed a process to granulate it. They used water to turn it into fine sand, which made it much easier to transport and dispose of.
So they essentially created a giant sand pile out of industrial waste. That's actually pretty clever.
It was. And to move all that sand, they built a cable car system that ran across the Heller River.
A cable car for slag. Now, that's something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
How long did this system operate?
For over 50 years. And you can still see remnants of the cable car's angle station up on the Sandhalde. It's pretty amazing to imagine this constant flow of slag sand being transported across the valley.
It must have been quite a sight. And it speaks to the scale of the industrial activity in the region. It wasn't just a small-scale operation. It was massive.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of massive, the Sandhalde itself is a testament to that. It's a huge landmark, a physical reminder of the impact of industry on the landscape. But it's also a place of surprising beauty and resilience.
Okay, now I'm really curious. We've got this mountain of slag, remnants of a cable car system. What else is there to see? What kind of plants and animals have managed to make a home in this seemingly inhospitable environment?
Well, picture this. You've got these steep slopes of the Sandhalde made of, loose slag sand. And they're mostly bare, right? It's tough for most plants to take root on such a, shifting surface.
Yeah, makes sense.
But around the edges where things have settled and stabilized a bit,
Okay.
you get a mix of forests and meadows. That's where the magic really happens.
It's like the Sandhalde. It created its own little microclimate,
Exactly.
fostering these pockets of biodiversity. What kind of plants are we talking about here? Anything particularly interesting?
Well, you've got your resilient trees like Scots pine and silver birch.
Yeah.
Those, they can handle the drier conditions.
Okay.
But then you also find this surprising array of wildflowers.
Really?
Viper's bee gloss, wild carrot, oxeye daisy, even some St. John's wort. A real mix.
Yeah, it's a real mix of the common and the unexpected.
Unexpected is right. I wouldn't have guessed that such a harsh, industrial environment could support such a diverse range of plant life.
Right.
Is there anything truly unique to this Sandhalde ecosystem?
You remember that rare orchid we mentioned, the Braunrot Stendelwurz?
Yeah.
Well, it thrives in dune-like environments.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's found on the Sandhalde.
Get out! No way!
Yeah. Along with other orchids like the broad-leaved helleborine, which is, pretty widespread in Germany.
Okay, orchids on a sand pile made from mining waste. That's just wild.
It is.
It seems like nature has a real knack for turning even the most unlikely places into these havens for life.
It really is a testament to nature's resilience.
Yeah.
You know, its ability to adapt.
And thrive even in these seemingly inhospitable conditions. And what's even more fascinating is that this isn't just some random collection of plants.
Oh.
The Sandhalde has become this valuable habitat
wow.
for a number of species,
Right.
including some that are quite rare.
So it's not just about like the sheer number of plant species,
Right.
but the fact that this unique environment is supporting a particular ecological niche.
Exactly. It's like a hidden gem of biodiversity.
Yeah.
You know, and for you, the listener, if you ever find yourself in Herdorf on a beautiful day, think about this. You can actually experience this blend of industry and ecology firsthand. Imagine hiking the Bollnbach-Stahlert Wanderweg.
Okay. Yeah.
Seeing the remnants of those mines, and then stumbling upon this unexpected oasis of life on the Sandhalde.
It's like a journey through time.
Yeah, it is.
Witnessing the impact of human activity, and then seeing how nature reclaims and transforms these spaces.
Exactly.
I'm starting to think that the Sandhalde is more than just like a pile of sand.
Yeah.
It's a symbol of something bigger.
You're hitting on something really important.
Okay.
It makes you question how we view industrial sites. Often we see them as purely functional, even destructive to the environment.
Right.
But the Sandhalde shows us that these places they can also have ecological value.
Right.
That they can be spaces where nature and history can coexist.
It challenges us to think beyond just the immediate impact of industry, and consider the long-term consequences, both positive and negative.
Absolutely. And who knows what other hidden ecological gems might be out there, just waiting to be discovered.
Yeah.
In the shadows of our industrial past.
I'm curious, this Julius Polig, the cable car pioneer who designed the system that created the Sandhalde.
Yeah.
Was he just like a hired engineer?
Well, his involvement is significant for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it tells us that the Herdorf mines, they were a big deal.
Okay.
They were attracting, top-notch engineering talent. Like Polig. And secondly, his cableway system, it wasn't just about moving sand, right?
Okay.
It literally shaped the landscape, creating the conditions for the Sandhalde to exist in the first place.
So his ingenuity had this unintended consequence.
Exactly.
Like a monument to industry that became a haven for life.
Yeah, it's quite a legacy.
It is.
Yeah.
But we've been so focused on the Sandhalde.
Yeah.
I almost forgot we're on a hike here.
That's right.
What else can we experience along this Bollnbach-Stahlert Wanderweg?
Well, the trail it follows the Helle River, leading you back towards the heart of Herdorf, and as you walk along the river, you start to really appreciate its vital role in the whole mining operation. It was.
I love that we started our journey in this stark, almost otherworldly environment of the Sandhalde, and now we're strolling along a river.
I know. Right.
Surrounded by the sights and sounds of nature.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful contrast.
It really speaks to the cyclical nature of things. Yeah. How landscapes are constantly being reshaped by human activity. Yeah. And then reclaimed by nature. And as you walk this final stretch of the trail heading back into Herdorf, you can't help but reflect on the enduring legacy of the mining industry. Both on the landscape and on the town itself.
It makes me wonder about the people who lived and worked in Herdorf during its mining heyday. What was their life like? How did this industry shape their community? We're piecing together a puzzle, with each landmark, each remnant adding another layer to our understanding of Herdorf's industrial past. We began by exploring the Sandhalde, that stark, almost otherworldly landscape, a testament to nature's resilience. And now, following the Heller back towards the town, we're really seeing how this waterway shaped not just the physical landscape, but, the rhythm of life in Herdorf.
It really highlights how history is woven into the very fabric of a place. The Sandhalde and the mines, the river, they all have a story to tell. And it makes you think, the listener, it's an invitation to look closer at your own surroundings. Consider the layers of history that might be hidden beneath the surface.
That's so true. We often take these places for granted. There's so much to learn if we just open our eyes and our minds to the stories they hold.
As we approach the town of Herdorf, are there any other key landmarks that sort of connect us back to its mining past? Well, you can't talk about Herdorf's iron industry without mentioning the Friedrichschutt. That's the ironworks where Ferdinand Schneider first introduced that slacking granulation process, the one that gave us the Sandhalde.
Yeah.
The ironworks itself isn't operational anymore, but you can still see, remnants of the industrial complex along the trail.
It really is incredible how everything connects back. The Friedrichschutt, the Sandhalde, the river, the mines, they all played a part in Herdorf's industrial journey.
And as you walk that last part of the trail back into the town center, you really feel a shift in the atmosphere. The remnants of the industry slowly give way to charming streets and shops, a bustling community, one that embraces its modern identity but still holds on to that legacy of its mining past.
It's a good reminder that progress doesn't have to erase the past. Herdorf seems to have found a way to honor its heritage and still move forward. This whole experience it's been really eye-opening. I started this deep dive thinking about, mines and industry, but I'm leaving with a much deeper appreciation for how interconnected everything is. Nature, technology, human resilience, and the power of these places to connect us to the past.
That's a wonderful way to put it, and it gets at the heart of what we're trying to do with these deep dives. It's not just about sharing information, but about encouraging exploration, sparking curiosity, and helping you connect with the world around you in a meaningful way.
Well said. So to our listeners, if you're ever looking for a journey that combines history, nature, and a bit of industrial charm, consider a trip to Herdorf. Explore the Bollnbach-Stahlert Wanderweg and let the landscape be your guide as you uncover the fascinating story of this town.
And who knows, maybe your own explorations will lead to some unexpected discoveries. Hidden gems just waiting to be found right in your own backyard. Until next time, happy hiking and keep diving deep.